In the last lesson, we worked on the header. Let's go over and look at what we intend to keep building. But let's look at where we're at with the tutorial. We worked on just the header part. So you can see with the final example, we need to get the nav in and then the main content and the footer. But today we're just going to worry about the nav itself. So let's work on that. So we'll come down into the tutorial or wherever you are at in your file, and we'll come down to the next section, which is called nav. So let's put in an unordered list for now. Put in our list items. So list item number 1, and do href for an anchor tag, and we'll leave that blank for now so we can figure out where we're going to go. And then we can just do page 1 example, and I'm just going to put that, but this can be whatever page you want. And the href should be whatever it is, like page1.html or index.html or whatever. So that's what goes there. So I'm just going to, for example purposes, I'll just leave in page1.html. And then make sure the closing tags are there. And then I know I mentioned that I don't do much copy and pasting, but for this, it's kind of hard to mess up. So, and it's a lot faster. So we'll just copy and paste that. We'll just change the correct things. And there we have the construct. So I'm going to save it, but note it's not going to look like what we want it to look like. That's what it's going to look like. So we need to style it to look more like this. So to do that, and you can already tell where I'm going with this, is we need to add styles. So here's the main section, which is nav. Inside there, we just did an unordered list. And then inside there, we did some list items. So now we need to style it to kind of make it look like how we want. So first and foremost, there's going to be a bunch of these. So most of the time is going to be spent in style. So let's stylize the nav first. So let's first put a background color so we can make it look good. And in the tutorial example, I'm using 13A4FA. And by the way, I'm not just memorizing this. I have it written down so that way I know what color it is. But you would need to know what color you want to put. So in your design file, or go out on the web and find out, color palettes for web purposes, what the hexadecimal, the hex number value is going to be, so you can plug it in there. Now remember, you can actually just put red, and then let's just save that. For your standard colors, you can actually just, whoops, wrong one. We can put red. That just doesn't look good, so I'm gonna put it back there. Whoops, save it, refresh on top of this, and then there we go. You can kind of see how it's working out. There's a little bit of space there. We'll work on getting rid of that. It may not be now, but it might be later when we actually get rid of that, and I'll show you how to do that. Then we're going to do text align. We want everything in there to be in the center. So let's put in center. And I'm going to save this and show you as we go, just so you can kind of see. So you can see we're starting to get the styles that we want in there. And then let's put a padding around 10. Let's do pixels. Actually, I think we just put 10. That defaults pixels. Maybe not. Let's see, padding 10. Oh, yeah, you're right. You probably were already saying that, yelling at the video. So let's put in some pixels. And go hit refresh. All right, there we go. So that actually put the two sections together by putting in an actual padding value. So we'll go back here. Now that we have the nav kind of structured, we need to structure the UI the UL element. Now we can do a couple things. One, we can do class equals, and then we can say main menu. But because I'm an efficient programmer, actually I'm a lazy programmer, and I kind of want to know where things are, especially when you get a lot of style sheets. A lot of styles, and eventually you get a lot of style sheets too, like many files with styles. Sometimes it's better just to put nav in front of it so you know it's part of the nav, and then we'll stylize the unordered list and then the list item. So what this is saying is to the style is stylize the element nav, then go into UL, and then stylize the LI. We can even go as deep as saying the anchor tag too. So we're not going to go that far. So we want to stylize the actual list item, the LI tag. Well, we will do the A tag too, but you can see here. So we'll do display inline, and what that's going to do is put it all on the same row. So all of the list items won't be displayed on top of each other. They'll be displayed side by side. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, go over here, refresh, and you can see now it's side by side, and it actually gets rid of the bullet point by default. And then we're going to go here and say we need to get some margin in there because it kind of looks bad. But we're going to only push it to the right. So we'll put margin right, and let's do about 40 pixels. All right, save that. And so you can see it's all against each other. So now if I refresh, it'll push it. Now what I did was margin right. So everything in the LI tag is going to push this way. So the 40 pixels that is here is actually attached to this LI. The 40 pixels here is attached to this LI, and there's 40 pixels actually over here, which is attached to this LI. Now I know you're looking at an anchor tag, but what's inside that LI is what we're seeing. So it's actually pushing the next element, not we're not putting it left and right. You'll see some people put on the left 20 pixels and on the right 20 pixels. But you're actually going to run into problems with that, because if this was a left justify, then you would accidentally have too much margin on the left. So that way, if you just kind of get in the habit of thinking that margin pushes, and it pushes elements to the side, to the top, to the bottom, and that's how you can work. Now it doesn't work for everything, right? You might want to do margin top, bottom only, or left and right only. It makes sense there, but that's kind of a trick that you can do to make it so every time you add another element, so let's add 2 more buttons, it will just automatically give the same spacing and make it feel like it's in the middle of the nav. All right, so let's get rid of those 2 guys. Okay, so now we're back up here. Remember how these selectors work. So nav ul li says in the nav tag, go inside the ul tag, and on the li tag, give it these styles. All right, so now we want to go in from nav, ul, li, and now we want to dress up or make the A tags look a little bit better, okay? So in this case, I'm going to do the color, white, which is just Fs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Fs. Black is 6 zeros. And then we go into text decoration, and I want to get rid of, I actually don't want it underlined, so just put none. And then font weight, I actually want it bold, so make it bold there. And then here, I'm going to do another one, so nav, ul, li, a, and then colon hover. Now what this does is when the user, now we're actually kind of going into interactivity. When the user hovers over the anchor tag or the link, I want it to look a little bit different. So now I want the text decoration. I'm going to change it to underline. There's other ones out there, overline, I think strike through, things like that. Okay, so I think that's all how I want to style it. If we go back here, refresh, there we go. Now we have our style. So you can see here that it took on that style, and we have one little problem that I see is that what I don't like is that it's the default computer font, which is probably Times. And so what I'm going to do though, instead of trying to change it on every element, I'm going to set the entire document's font family. So I'm going to go up here, and I'm also going to set this to Trebuchet. So I'm actually just going to copy this because, again, a little bit lazy there. And so that way body font family is Trebuchet. I'm going to hit save, and then my font should look better now. There we go. Now when we hover, it has underline. So you can see that hover works. Now we can change the color. We can even change the font size. So there's a lot of things you can do with that. But that's the nav, and then we'll work on the main body in the next video.